Hey y'all, I'm Quintarius Moore, and we're going to begin the second video of a series of short tutorials on how to use the stock portfolio tracker that I have created. Like the video and subscribe to the channel to follow along and stay up to date. Also, consider joining the Discord using the link in the read this first sheet of this portfolio tracker. Also, leave feedback on the tracker and suggestions for what you'd like to see implemented after you've incorporated it into your investing toolkit. See you in the comment section. We will browse through the transactions OSV sheet of this Google Sheet and highlight some need to know info. Afterwards, you should have a pretty good understanding of how to import your current and new stock positions into the tracker for future automation. Just for those who are new to the series, I made this tracker to hold myself responsible for the decisions that I made in my investment journey. It has really opened my eyes to some things that I was doing wrong as far as asset allocation and has allowed me to better construct my plan, which are some topics I wouldn't mind covering in other videos or even a Sunday chat if enough interest is garnered. Also, I have similar versions of this tracker for crypto and options. So for those that are interested, just let me know. Now, I wanted to share with a few people, especially the Black community, at this point in order to provide a tool that will significantly alleviate the growing pains and boost understanding of this thing called investing. All right, so now let's begin. So for the second video in this series, we will discuss how to use the transactions OSV sheet in this Google Sheet as noted here. This sheet allows you to enter your transactions, which the tracker uses to automate the rest of the tracker, such as charts, graph, and other info about the stocks you're invested in and your overall portfolio. Now, remember in the last video, I mentioned that the cells with the yellow colors are the ones in which the users enter information. Now, let's walk through the sample data that we have in front of us. Now, here, the first column that you see is simply the date. So the date that that transaction occurred, you can actually record here in the first column. Next, we have the type. And what's pretty cool about this is that you can pick what type of transaction it is, whether it's a buy order, sell order, stock split, dividend payment, or just a fee that's associated with you buying and selling stock. Next, we have the ticker symbol of the stock that you are recording the transaction for. So here we have Amazon, which its ticker symbol is AMZN. Now, what's nice next is that we have our transacted units, which is simply the number of shares that we have bought, and also our transacted price, which is simply the price at which we bought this stock. Now, fees and stock split ratio can stay the same for buy and sell orders unless there are fees associated with that. And also the stock split ratio is only used for when we actually select the type split for stock splits. So, it's simple enough so far. And so what's really cool about this is that, like I said, cells that are in the blue are automatically tabulated, such as cumulative shares, which we call cumulative units, cumulative costs, and our transacted values. And also at the end of the sheet, you see that it also shows your gains or losses from the sale when you actually do record a sale order. And it also lists out realized gains or losses of the position. So now let's go down through the sample data and let's do kind of a quick example of other options using Amazon. So now here we have a date. I'll just pick an arbitrary date. So January 15th, 2021, even though it should be 2022. So what we'll do, instead of doing a buy order, let's click sell and let's enter in the ticker symbol for Amazon, AMZN. And we'll also say we're selling 0.01 shares at a price of, let's say, $3,200. So simple as that. So see, we've entered in this information. And also here from our cumulative shares, it actually subtracts the amount that we're selling. It also shows the transacted value. And in the end, we see here that we got essentially our gains or losses. So here, if we're selling for $3,200, Amazon, for Amazon, we bought for a higher price. So when you sell, it shows you that you have a negative return and also the percentage of the return. So that's one example there. Now let's also look at another option, which is split. And this is pretty interesting to me because things get very hectic when stocks go through a stock split. And I wouldn't mind Amazon splitting at some point soon. But let's continue to use Amazon as an example, right? So here we have Amazon, and we don't need to put in transacted number of shares or a price. Remember, this column G here is the stock split ratio. Now let's say, for example, Amazon decides to do a 1-for-4 split, which means for every share of Amazon, you get 4 shares of Amazon. And also the price ends up being divided by 4. So we'll just end up putting here 4 for our stock split. And you see nothing really happen here. However, if we come down and go over to our summary OSV sheet and scroll to the top, we see that for our Amazon's ticker here, instead of having 0.16 shares, it's been times by 4 to give us now 0.6 shares. Now, if you do scroll across, you see that things are a bit weird where it says we're up 300% on our fake data. And the reason being is that what we're doing isn't reality. And these prices here are automatically derived from stock data to give you the last price of Amazon. And so let's just give it a fake price for a 1-to-4 split. So let's just say that currently Amazon is $860. And you see here, everything automatically tabulated for you. So in case of a stock split, you don't have to worry about trying to figure out what's your total cost or how much you have, or that this tracker here will break. It actually does account for stock splits. So we'll delete this and go back into our transactions OSV. And so now I've showed you how to do a buy order, sell order, split. And like I said, fees, you don't really have to have a certain order. You can just place your fee amount here for that transaction. And lastly, for those who are big on dividends or simply you're holding stocks that do pay a dividend, it's nice to know over time how much money that you've gotten from that particular stock from a dividend. So here, you just simply select dividend. Once again, I'll add Amazon here. And I'll say, hey, for 0.15 shares of Amazon at $3,200 at 32 for at 0.15 shares of Amazon, we received I'll say $1. So what it's going to show here is that you'll see here it says 0.15, which means for your 0.15 shares of Amazon, the payout for Amazon that quarter is $1. So if you have 0.15 shares, you're going to end up getting 15 cents. And if we move over to summary OSV, we'll see here at the top, we'll go to Amazon, and if we look on over to column L, we'll see that it actually shows your dividends collected, and that it actually aggregate itself as you start recording more and more dividends for, let's say, Amazon. It's going to add over time, which is very nice to keep track of. And so now that we've been over how to use the transactions OSV, and you've gotten a quick peek of the summary OSV, and I've showed you how to use the manual price to correctly show a stock split when we're simulating a stock split. Now, if it happened in real life, we wouldn't have to do this, but this is just to show you that I actually wasn't lying about able to do the stock splits. And so actually, this is the end of the second video of our tutorial for the transactions portion of the sheet. And you see that everything is essentially automated after you record your transactions. And now you should personally be able to easily enter in your transactions into this part of the tracker. Pretty simple. And a tip that I will add is, let's say that you've had your stocks for a while and today is your first day using the tracker. Now, what you can do is you can set up a buy transaction and pick your stock, but you can also just use an arbitrary date like today. Because if you've been buying, let's say, Disney for 5 years, there's no need to put in each transaction of you buying Disney. You can simply put in today's date, and let's say you own 50 shares of Disney. With today's date, you put buy and the ticker symbol for Disney. And let's just say you have 50 shares altogether, and your average price that you bought Disney at was $100. That's simply all you have to do. And that average price you typically find in your brokerage account, and you just enter that information here. So whether you've been buying stocks or will start soon, this tracker is perfect for all levels. Now this brings us to the end of this second video in the series. And so next time we will discuss the layout of the summary OSV sheet here and what's included in the last section of the tracker that you will personally have to fill out. But other than that, everything is simply automated. So please like and subscribe. Never hesitate to ask any questions in the comments or provide feedback on the tracker. Definitely join the Discord server and consider donating towards the Public School Teachers Award to support a teacher and the future of students that they nurture. Peace, y'all. See you in the next one.